talk about USC Colorado. When we previewed this team, I think we nailed it. Okay. USC at Colorado. Okay. We knew Colorado was at home. We knew USC's defense was struggling a lot early on. Wow. USC came out guns blazing. I think they're up, 34-7 at one point. But credit Colorado, man. Credit the absolute fight that this team had with their lack of depth. They got after it in the second half, and they actually had a chance. They kept it. They brought it within a touchdown, down 34-7.
Yeah.
So
And I'll say this real
Yeah.
quick. Add to that point. It was 34-7 in the second quarter with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Right. So Colorado could have hung their hats and just, accepted the game and went into halftime 34-7, but they went down and they scored a touchdown with 21 seconds to go. And that gave them some confidence and a chance to make it a game in the second half, which they did.
Yeah, and it was other guys stepping up too. It was other guys stepping up, right? Xavier Weaver ended up playing this game. Travis Hunter, of course, was not playing once again, but Amarian Weaver, 7 receptions, 196 yards and a touchdown. So
Amari Miller.
Amari Miller, yeah. Amarian's his full name. But they might have some talent at these skill positions on offense, a little bit deeper than we originally thought that they were going to be. And look, Shedeur Sanders, once again, impressed me. Now, he did have that one pick in the first half. That was not very good. Not very good at all. But he did something a little bit different than we've seen him in the past. He ran the football effectively. Scampered out of there. Felt like USC wasn't capitalizing maybe as much as they were in some of the early games this season in terms of putting pressure. Of course, they put pressure on him, right? But Shedeur Sanders handled it very well. He came back. I thought he did really, really well. We both had USC winning. We both had Colorado covering, though. Any other thoughts on this game? And looking forward for both of these teams.
Yeah, I just think in terms of the line was too high, and we kind of called it. And in credit to Colorado for coming back and fighting, but I was never really concerned about USC losing this game. A lot of people are saying, "Oh my gosh, they gave up 41 points. They gave up 27 second half points to Colorado." And to be honest, yes, well, that did happen, and I can't just ignore that. But I do think that first half USC team is the team I choose to believe that's the team like USC is going to be going forward, right? With Alex Grinch at the helm there. And I thought they were really impressive, really, really impressive going into an environment in Colorado, which you knew was buzzing. You knew they were going to be pissed off after last week's, and you came out and you just punched them right in the face. Obviously, Caleb Williams, sensational as always. Again, it's not that I don't think the offense was the problem at all, right? I mean, they played fantastic. They had 0 fourth quarter points, but that's what besides the point. I do think Marshawn Lloyd, 13 carries only. I mean, I know it's hard to take the ball out of Caleb Williams' hands, but if you want to talk about how do you not lose conference games that you shouldn't lose, you run the ball really well in the second half. That's how it happens. And I don't think they did that. And it gave Colorado a chance to come back in the game. And obviously, I know never 101. I get that, for sure. But Marshawn Lloyd, if that offense and that team takes the next step, I think it's going to be through him, right? And the rushing game he can provide. And I think the defense, I mean, they're not going to be elite, right? But this Colorado's a good offense. Obviously, we know it is, right? They put up numbers about just about everybody except Oregon.
But there's things that you can do to shut these guys down, and if you're talented enough, you can overcome whatever's going on in Colorado's offense. Like there are ways to shut it down, and you saw it early in the first quarter, right? But what did they run out of steam? Credit the Colorado coaching staff, man. That's just that's Sean Lewis, right? From Kent State, is that his name? Sean Lewis. That's Sean Lewis out coaching Alex Grinch. But Grinch, of course, we know USC has had some problems with these last 2 years at Oklahoma. I mean, I don't know why that guy still has a job, but hey, maybe he's a good guy. I don't know. Maybe he's a good guy. This is not the Grinch hate segment. But
no. He'll get his due, I think, once they play Washington and Oregon in back-to-back weeks. I'm sure that fan base will be plenty upset with them. But yeah, for USC looking ahead, you got Arizona right? The status on Jaden Delora is obviously in question, but that backup quarterback did some things against Washington and even Stanford that, it's not going to be an easy test, obviously at home, which is nice for USC. And then you go to Notre Dame, right? And that's the one I think Notre Dame's had circled, right? In terms of a game that they think they can really, really win, especially after losing against Ohio State. Notre Dame needs that win to make the playoffs. They really do, especially with a team like Clemson on their schedule. That's not going to be a marquee win like you thought it would have been. USC they need this win. And then you get into Pac-12 play, Utah, Cal, even at Cal, Washington, Oregon, UCLA. Does not get easy for USC. That defense needs to get figured out come late October, obviously. And then for Colorado, they get a much needed bye week. Right, I believe, or am I mistaken? Oh no. Oh no. I'm so sorry. They get Arizona State bye week. No, I'm just kidding.
Yo.
I'm just kidding. Stanford, and then they get Stanford, and then they get their bye week. I'm sorry.
So you get 3 bye weeks.
No,
that's actually
but I think
really good schedule dynamic right there for them. I'm not calling Arizona State and Stanford bye weeks, but those are a little bit less physical games that you'll be playing.
In a game, in a time where they really need to rest up, they're finding out just how long college football season really is, right? That coaching staff, that team, and a team with not a ton of depth, which we talked about. Obviously, wide receiver, they're fine depth-wise, but everywhere else, trenches, secondary defense, quarterback, right? It's going to be nice to maybe get on some teams early and just kind of coast in terms of being, and even that Nebraska game was still a 3-quarter game, and it wasn't until late in the fourth when they pulled away, right?
It was a physical
probably
game
worn
too.
out. A very physical
game early on.
So I think Colorado, needs a couple, easy games, and then they get their bye week, and then they can reset and gear up for the back half of their schedule. But yeah, the Pac-12, we've talked about it all year. It's a gauntlet. It's a gauntlet for everybody, right? So it's gonna come down to, who stays healthy, who's peaking at the right time in October and November.